The story I want to share is about my now ex-girlfriend, whom I never thought could be so deceitful. After years of knowing her, it's unbelievable how it all turned out. It all began with Svetka, my first girlfriend, patiently waiting for me while I served in the army, pursued education, and tried to stand on my own feet. She stood by me honestly and faithfully, and I, in turn, refrained from indulging in wild parties or bachelor escapades. Love fueled my every move, and whenever I could, I rushed home to be with her, my beautiful girlfriend. We shared a rented apartment, and as time flew by, we started to prepare for our wedding. Our parents had been subtly hinting at wanting grandchildren, a wish we were both open to fulfilling. However, an unforeseen event disrupted our seemingly perfect world. Svetka was sent for 2 weeks of advanced training, and I loathed the idea of being apart from her. But there was no choice, so on a Saturday, she packed her bags and even cooked for me for the first time. On Sunday, I bid her farewell at the train station. The week without her felt excruciatingly long. I managed to keep myself occupied during weekdays, but on weekends I felt lost. I took on tasks around the house that I usually avoided, even assembling the kitchen set. However, I decided to leave the arrangement of dishes to Svetka, as she had a special knack for creating coziness. So I eagerly awaited her return. The second week of her absence neared its end, and my excitement grew exponentially. I knew the exact date of her return, thanks to the pre-arranged tickets provided by her organization. I imagined the joy of our reunion and couldn't sleep at night, eagerly anticipating the morning when I would see her again. After my morning routine and a hasty breakfast, I hurried to the train station to surprise her. As the minutes ticked away, my heart pounded with anticipation. I decided not to call and alert her about my presence, wanting to make the reunion more special. Finally, I heard the distant sound of a horn, signaling the approaching train. With each vibration under my feet, I knew she was almost here. The excitement and joy were overwhelming. I positioned myself discreetly behind the column, effectively concealing my presence. The early hour of the train had left the platform nearly empty, with only a handful of people either preparing to board or waiting to meet someone. Suddenly, the conductor descended onto the platform, dutifully cleaning the handrails and allowing passengers to disembark. One by one, individuals appeared at the doorway: a man, an elderly woman carrying an oversized bag, and a few others. And then, there they were, a familiar silhouette. I yearned to reveal myself from my hiding place, but an unexplained force seemed to restrain me. Intrigued, I decided to observe how Svetlana would react, unaware of my absence among those awaiting her. To my surprise, she effortlessly stepped off the train, turning around to retrieve her suitcase from a man standing nearby. Must be a fellow traveler, I presumed. However, his intense gaze fixated on Svetlana gave off a possessiveness that did not align with the behavior of a traveling companion. Yet, Svetlana did not even acknowledge my presence. She made no attempt to contact me, ask my whereabouts, or question why I was not among those who had come to greet her. Feeling perplexed, I pulled out my phone and dialed her number. Upon seeing that I was calling, Svetlana hastily declined the call and joined the mysterious man as they made their way towards the station. Determined not to lose sight of them, I trailed behind. They paused at a counter where the man ordered coffee, affording me the opportunity to quietly approach Svetlana from behind. "Hi," I greeted her, trying to mask the confusion and hurt in my voice. Svetlana was taken aback, clearly surprised to see me. "How are you here?" she stammered. "I called you, but it seems someone else is taking care of your company," I replied, unable to conceal my emotions. At that moment, the man joined us, handing Svetlana a cup of coffee with 2 sugars. "Svetka, here's your coffee, just the way you like it," he said possessively. Startled, Svetlana questioned, "How does he know what I like? Why haven't you even attempted to explain?" "Honey, let's not discuss it here." I promise I will explain everything once we get home, I offered, hoping to appease her unsettled feelings. And then, an unexpected interruption came in the form of a stranger entering our conversation. Svetochka, what does he want from you? He questioned, turning towards me casually. Let's leave this place, he suggested. I had no intention of leaving, and dealing with him was an effortless task. However, I refused to sink any lower. Disregarding his pointless remarks, I spoke to Svetlana. You can go on your own. I'll see you at home. I knew we had a serious conversation ahead, and we indeed had one. Don't even attempt to lie to me. I know everything. I've already been informed, I started. With those words, I struck the right target. And what do you know? So what if I had a moment with him? Are you some kind of saint? Svetka yelled. Leave, I whispered sharply. She began hastily gathering her belongings, causing chaos in the apartment. Then, the door slammed shut, leaving the house in silence. The following day, the phone continuously rang. I could see it was Svetka calling, but I was resolute in my decision and unwilling to listen to her feeble excuses. We ended our relationship, and now she resides at her parents' house, refusing to meet anyone. Perhaps she is still dealing with the aftermath of our separation. Nevertheless, I am relieved that I did not have to consider myself a fool, as all was revealed by some higher power.